welcome everyone. This is Glenda Dawson, and I have Moon Girl, Sarah Garcia.
Hi.
Hi, honey. How are ya?
Good. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you and all our viewers all over the globe.
Exactly. Exactly. We wish them always the best, right? And
Of
we also
course.
thank them for being
Yeah.
here with us week after week.
Mm.
Just share, like, let's keep it going so people can learn and have more experiences about the paranormal and about other stuff too. Because
Yeah.
anything that's not considered normal is paranormal, people.
Yes.
Hate to tell you,
It's not just about ghosts, although
it's
we
not
love
just
ghosts.
about ghosts. We do love ghosts, and
Yes.
they
Any
love
type
us.
of paranormal phenomenon,
Yes,
still paranormal.
yeah, yeah. So, so what's going on? Anything in particular?
Well, I know we're bringing it in the new year. So, what kind of traditions do you guys have out there? Maybe let us know, email us, Glenda, any type of traditions that you do for New Year's that'll bring in luck or prosperity, abundance, anything like that.
Well, for me, I do the 12 grapes.
Uh-huh. Tell people how that goes so they
Okay.
know.
Well, there's some traditions that are practiced really, really strongly, and some are not.
Mhm.
But the few that are really, truly practiced and followed is you clean your house completely. You sweep out the old negative dirt,
Yeah.
basically. I mean, in the olden times, it was dirt floors, but now
Mhm.
still you sweep it out. So don't even scoop it up inside. Take it out the porch,
Yeah.
out the front, whatever, and let the elements take it. And that just basically takes out all the negative energy, all the negativity that has happened to you, all the bad, the illness, whatever, and basically cleanses your house in a way. We do a full cleansing with Palo Santo, with sage, with lavender, with rosemary, and I just go around burning that uh, and just kind of calming whatever spirit there is in my house since it is a 1900 house. It's got ghost people.
Ooey, gooey. Yes.
Yes, almost every place has spirits because let's
Yeah.
face it, this earth has been around for a long time and there's been dead and
Mhm. Yeah.
everywhere. So, and then when I mop, say the last room in my house is the kitchen. I don't do this in the wooden floors, but in the kitchen is tile. I mop it real good and I take that dirty water and I throw it out. So
Mhm.
really cleanse the house. Um, of course, be careful. You don't open the door and there's somebody walking. Just
That's
FYI.
fine. Let them take the dirt.
But even if you don't have the ability to just throw it out, go to the nearest sewer or something and dump it there. Not in
My
your
mom,
house. The idea is not to do it in your house. The idea
yeah.
is to take it out of your house. Then we have the tradition that if you want to travel and bring you good luck, is you take a luggage and you walk around the block. Of course,
Like a
let's
crazy person with your big luggage.
of course, people, if it's like, minus degrees, like in Pennsylvania, I envision doing the walk. I don't actually walk.
You can walk from like the doorstep to like the
I'll walk
pavement
around
and then
my
back.
house. I'll
Yeah.
walk around my house, not the whole block. Although I have had people look at me funny when I do that. Anyway, uh, and then I do also the 12 grapes,
Mhm.
which is one for every month.
Mhm.
uh, to bring good luck, to bring food in, to bring abundance in, to allow the energy of all of your needs being taken care of. I also have an altar or a
Mm,
mirror or a table, whatever you want, that I put all my ancestors in or dedicated to my ancestors
mhm,
so they could protect me in the coming year, so they could guide me, so they know that I am still thinking of them, like my parents, almost everybody in my family
mm.
is gone. I'm old enough for that. So that kind of thing. What about you?
I do a couple of things. I um, love doing the black eyed pea one that I told you.
Mhm.
So this is basically it. You get a glass jar and you fill it with black eyed peas, okay, all the way to the top. And the black eyed peas, they look like eyes. Then in there, you fill it up with oil of any kind you want. You could put like you could put like Florida water or the nine protectors, Egyptian protectors, kind of like it's a cologne kind of thing for protection.
Right.
It's supposed to protect you this whole year from any type of evil eye. Someone might try to do with you. It kind of blinds them with the oil and the protection in there that you have. And then you keep it there for the rest of the year. The year's over, you throw it away, so that's supposed
Not
to
in your
capture
house.
all that negative. Or you can throw it in the cemetery, whatever you like.
There you go. I'm a big believer of any of that stuff that grabs all that energy.
Mhm.
It's best to walk out of your house because then it stays there. So,
Yeah. Well, you need to have it in there for a little bit to kind of absorb all those all those negative vibes that they're throwing at you. So, and then you can get rid of it. Another one I really do like doing, and this is for those who have children out there. I'm a mother. I do this. I do get a little bit of dirt from a church outside the church, a little bit, and I get some from my front yard, your backyard. Put a little bit in your kid's shoe, like
mhm.
underneath the little foamy thing. This is for them if they ever get, you know, um, heaven forbid, ever get lost or something, they always find their way back home. So this is like a
Right.
tradition and a spell that I also do for the kids. And then
Mhm.
I have them, even though they're much older, my eldest is going to be 18 next year. So, but you never know. And I've always done that with them. And I do a spiritual cleansing bath for me for sure.
Right.
And I do love doing the floor wash. So
Yeah.
just kind of like you with sweeping, but then I put like other stuff in my floor wash to kind of clean it, bring in new like light, new stuff coming
Mhm.
in, abundance. I do like writing like Fehu on my arm and some numerology numbers on there to kind of bring in that good luck for me personally. But I
Mhm.
know a lot of people have different things that they do, but these are the ones I enjoy doing for myself and the kids. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, um, and it's very interesting how we all have the basic idea. We all have the
Yeah.
same type of um, idea, and we want to just get rid of the old and bring in the new. I remember when I was young, my father would do different traditions also. But speaking of tradition and speaking of new things, we have somebody in this backstage waiting for us. So,
Mm-hmm.
and he was really good about being our first guest for the year. And so welcome, Joe Castro.
Yay! We love
Yay!
Joe.
Hi, how are you?
I have to apologize to the show. I'm doing good. The holiday season got me all crazy, and I don't know why it didn't get in the calendar, but here I am. Better late than never. Sometimes.
Yes.
Uh,
That's okay. We were talking about, traditions that people do in New Year's Eve to different areas, different types of traditions, to bring in good luck, to bring in abundance, just to keep evil eyes or jealous people away from us. that kind of thing.
Well, the ones we can at least speak on air. Because the other ones, you know, we'd be frowned upon to talk about those.
Yeah, we're just keeping it very G-rated.
PG-13, yes.
Is my audio good this time? And does the
Yes.
can you can you hear the TV? Hold on a second. Can you hold on a second? Hold on.
Oh God, dear Lord, yes, let's keep it G-rated, right?
Yeah.
Besides the fact that people don't have to know every single thing we do.
Yes. It's not 1-800 hot
The
lips.
TV was on the back end
PG-13.
over there, so I wanted to make sure that it's off. How are y'all doing? What's going on in your world?
We're
Have
doing
you,
good.
have you had any tamales this year so far?
Yes,
No, I didn't, and I'm so sad I didn't have any yet. So I have to wait till probably New Year's, and I'm sad about that because all Mexicans eat at least a dozen tamales.
Yeah, I had already had a dozen tamales from Christmas Eve to Christmas Day.
Oh, wow.
Or no, even from the 23rd to the 24th. So,
Yes.
Good
Yeah.
for you. Good for you. Now I'm making my big batch for New Year's Eve.
That's New Year's
Yeah,
Eve. Okay.
Usually
You need to ship them from Pennsylvania to over here for me.
well,
I have
do have a
Cuban
container
tamales.
I could do. I could freeze them and to do that. So
And how do you make traditional pork tamales, or how do you
I
what do you
make the
do?
traditional pork tamales.
Yeah, we do too every year. Steven and I make at
Yeah.
least a good 3 or 4 dozen.
Yeah.
traditional
Oh yeah. No,
pork
if you're gonna
tamales.
make it, you got to make a big batch. There's no
Yeah.
none of that. Make a few. It's like you go.
But they're all gone. We ate the last 8 tamales last night. They're all gone. So that's what 48 tamales. I know. Well, we gave some away. We took some to a party, and of course we have the dogs too. That we give them a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So-
absolutely. No, that's tradition. No, this year was the first year in I think since forever. Since I moved out of my house to get married, my parents' house to get married, that I haven't hosted New Year's Eve. I let my youngest son and his new wife host it this year. So
She's passing down the baton.
well, no. I let them borrow it for this year since this is their first year.
It's a practice
I'm
baton.
taking it back next year. Not that they didn't do good, but that's like my day, and everybody knows that's my day. Christmas Eve is my traditional big holiday. After that, I don't care what holiday you want to celebrate. I don't care what you want to do. Or you could do it on the 26th for all I care. I'll be there. But so, how are you doing, Joe?
Oh,
Do you have any traditions? Like we were talking about, any kind of like New Year's or Christmas traditions that you do to bring in the new year? Good luck, good juju, get rid of bad juju.
Well, Steven and I like to go. We go with friends to a place called the Smokehouse, which is here in Burbank, across from Warner Brothers Studios, and we go there every almost every New Year's for like the last sitting of the night, which is 9:30 to midnight, and we eat with friends, and we eat with the longest friend I've had in Los Angeles, Steve Gaynor and his wife Karen, and their friends, and I've known Steve since 1989, so 34 years now. For 34 years now, and it's kind of fun because it's kind of like tradition for all the people that go there. So you see a lot of like old-timey Hollywood people there, producers and directors and this kind of thing. And it's also very it's a very like eclectic crowd, or like it's a very like you would get along just fine with the people there. In other words, it's a very diverse group of people. You know what I mean?
They're a bunch of weirdos like us, Glenda. This is what he's trying to say in a nice way.
In a nice way.
You'll see every color of the rainbow there. And
we support every color of the rainbow too, and every rainbow.
Every color of the rainbow there. So. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's how we go to ring in the New Year. And and then every time I see my friend Steve Gaynor, I'm reminded that we've survived like for 34 years here in Hollywood, and we're still doing what we love. And
And
it's
that's
just a reminder.
huge
Yeah,
for Hollywood. That's huge. Yes.
yeah, 34 years. So yeah,
It's
that's
big.
how we. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now I usually just stay home. I went out one New Year's Eve and it was so crazy. I was like, "Oh, okay, been there, done that. Fine, I'm done." Uh, it got too, people got too sloppy.
Yeah, people do get sloppy. Yeah, yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's okay. I'll just sit home and then I saw a lot of accidents coming home that day, so it was more like, yeah, it's okay.
You'd be surprised. LA is very quiet. Quiet. Last night we went out to see lights, and it was so quiet and dead all over the city. And it's just a big little town, basically.
Right,
It's yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of craziness that goes on during the day,
right.
but ultimately, it's a big small town.
Mm,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
that's good.
So
That's
yeah.
good. So introduce yourself to our audience.
Oh
For those
well,
that don't know you.
my name is Joe Castro, and I'm a special effects artist in the movie industry. I've been working in special effects for 40 years. I also direct movies, and I live and work and play here in Hollywood, California.
Good. So tell us a little more, though. I mean,
Uh,
it's so in depth.
I don't.
The
The
Yeah.
business with your husband.
Yeah.
Where to begin? I mean, I live with my husband Stephen Escobar here, and we both work in the business. My husband is an Emmy award-winning editor, and I am, like I said,
Hey,
a special
Steven.
effects artist. Yeah,
Yes.
and we're basically traditional, movie business professionals, and we have been doing this for many years, for almost 40 years, and I continue to do what I love and try to perfect my craft. And I have a lot of accolades and awards and this kind of thing, and it just you know what it is. After being interviewed so many times over the years, sometimes it's difficult to hear myself talk. It's like, Joe, shut up. It's like whatever. I mean, some people would be very impressed with my resume, and they are. But there's a lot of talented people out there that want to do what I do, and just encourage them to continue doing what they're doing if they want to have a career in the arts or a career in the entertainment industry. And it's very easy to give up and do something that's more sustainable and reliable. And if you don't like the fear of the unknown, then working in the entertainment industry is not for you.
No.
You
But
can't do it. I see people come and go all the time. There's
yeah.
something like over 100,000 people move to Los Angeles every year to work in the entertainment industry. And of those 100,000 people, and I'm sure it's more than that. It's more like 200,000 by now. That was like 20 years ago when I heard that figure. Like almost 90% of them move away within the first year, because it's a really competitive place here, and it takes discipline, and it takes endurance, and it takes a dedication to move forward. And if you don't have those things, it doesn't matter how much talent you have. You will not succeed, because there's a lot of talent in this world that will never be seen, simply because the person or individual did not have the discipline to continue doing the next right thing, or the next thing that needs to be done in order to move forward. Yeah.
Right.
Now, speaking of talent, and I'm not just saying this because we're friends, but you are so amazingly talented. Your special effects, it's insane. It looks really realistic, and I love your Halloween costumes. They're very oh my gosh, they're insane. So what got you into doing that? Were you always curious as a kid, like the macabre? Did you just, the art behind it? What drives you to do it?
Okay, that's a great question. You know, well, to put it simply, growing up, I was like any other average young man. I liked dragons and I liked dinosaurs. And my father, Martin Castro Jr., sat me down in front of the television one Saturday afternoon and said, "Son, watch this. You're gonna like it." My father was my biggest supporter growing up, and he knew what I liked, and he knew what my interests were. He took an interest in his children, and he was really about family. And it was Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. That was the movie he sat me down to watch by myself, and was the first movie I ever watched by myself. And what he realized that's where my interests lie, into arts and in things that were similar to this. And I said, "Dad, how do they do that? How do they do that monster? How do they make that?" And he said, "Look, son." And we watched the credits together as the credits rolled. And he said, "It's special effects. They use special effects to do that." And I said, "Dad, that's what I want to do when I grow up." So my dad was like, really pointing me in the right direction. That's how really it all started, right there. With the movie industry stuff. I had always had an interest in the arts before that, and been performing and puppets and whatnot, but that's once that was pointed out to me as a child, there was only one destination. There was only one goal. And then I began to move through life with purpose, and that's what I do. I move through my daily life with purpose of achieving that, whatever it was that my dad inspired me to do, at that moment, because at that moment I was in my zen, right? You're like in your zen. I was talking with I was at a Christmas party, Christmas Eve, with many Hollywood professionals. It was just a joy to be there with them. A friend of mine who's a famous film director, Rosemary Rodriguez, invited me to go to her Christmas Eve party, and she's directed all kinds of stuff you've probably seen. And
shout out to Rosemary.
Yeah, and I was talking with a couple of other famous actors there, and I said, I was pointing out how, like, it doesn't. We were talking about like grown men crying in movie theaters, and it's like whenever we see something on the screen that's magic or that makes us feel like magic, there's no holding back. Like, you can't. It doesn't matter how much of a man you are or whatever. You're just, the tears start to come, right? Because it's magic, and that was like my contribution to the conversation, and they all heard exactly what I was trying to say, and that's what my father gave me. That's what this career gives me. That's what this purpose gives me, is that magic,
Mm-hmm. Magic to transform something from normal to definitely wonderful.
Yeah.
That's
the unexplained. Yeah. The unknown, the unexplained, the hope, the whatever it is. I don't know how to bottle that and explain it, but movies used to be magical for children. Movies are magical, whenever it can't be explained. And I try to do that with my special effects. I try to make special effects that are even special to other special effects artists,
mm-hmm.
which is a huge undertaking. It's kind of like trying to reinvent the wheel every time you do something, but that's, I move with purpose to do that. Yeah.
Well, it's your talent, your gift.
Thank you.
So that's wonderful. So tell us some of the stuff that you have done.
Oh, wow. Let me see.
The business you have with your husband. Tell everyone about that.
Yeah.
So my husband and I own a franchise, a movie franchise.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cult movie franchise. If you don't like cult movies, you probably will not like this film. And it's okay. There are movies that some people like that other people do not like, and that's just the way of the world. It's just it's just that way. And I always like to say there is no such thing as a bad movie. The person who's watching the movie is either entertained by it or they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people need to understand that, because that's why you go online and you see people arguing about whether a movie is good or not, because somewhere on this planet something loves something that you do not like, and vice versa. Someone does not like something that you really love, and that's the yin and yang of the world, and that's how art is perceived as well, you know. So anyhow, my husband and I own a cult movie franchise, and it's titled Terror Toons, and it's spelled terror and then TOONS, like cartoons, Terror Toons, and it's a movie about killer cartoons, about evil cartoons, and you know, it's a very it's kind of it's not really a kids thing, even though we have a young audience, but it's rated R. There's a lot of blood in it. The cartoons kill people.
Movie.
It's a family movie, and the cartoons kill people. It's very dark and sinister. There's an evil scientist that makes like a Frankenstein gorilla monkey, and he sends the gorilla monkey out to kill people and help him, you know, kill people. But basically, it's all centered around the devil has invented these characters to steal the souls of children, and it sounds pretty dark and demonic, and it is. It's kind of scary.
Family movie, something for everyone.
And you know, it is dark. It's a horror film. The first film was a horror movie, and it kind of plays out like the actual premises of a horror film. There's something evil that's created, and it takes the souls of innocent people, and but it's campy. It has a little camp in it. You know, it's done with bright colors, and it is gory and,
to make up for the murder.
Yeah. But it is. If you like that sort of thing, if you don't like that sort of thing,
we love that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah. If you don't like that sort of thing, do not watch it. I don't like to force people to watch things that they don't like. You know. So
Right.
if it's not your cup of tea, I get it. You know. And
I watch it, but after that, I can't turn off any single light in my house for a while.
It's not that kind of scary. It's more like it's more like I don't know how to explain it. It's more like someone described it as a tasty gore treat.
We're all about snacks here. No.
Yes. So but we own the franchise, and there's 4 of them. We have Terror Toons 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the quadrilogy was just released in October of this year, just 2 months ago, and it's doing very well. So you can get all 4 movies at terrortoons.tv and collect them all. And each film is different. Each film has a different kind of thing going on. Each one even has kind of a little bit of a different style. Because every time I like to make a movie, I don't like to make the same movie twice. And it took us. We shot the first movie in 3 days for $2,300. We're $2,300. And when it was released in 2002. And if you ever remember the Blockbuster video stores, I went to Blockbuster, and it was there on the shelf right next to Pirates of the Caribbean. You know, and it did very well. It did very well. And then we made the second movie in, I believe it was 2003, and it came out in 2005. And we shot that movie in 7 days for $13,000. So the budget went up, and then the budget went up.
Indiegogo,
Well, that was 2004. But I don't know if they had Indiegogo back then, but. And then
I don't think they did. Yeah, I don't think they did.
Yeah. And then then it took us almost 10 years to make the third one, and then it took us almost another 10 years to make the fourth one. So, they're each of them have their own challenges, and if you watch it, you'll understand why. You know, there's a lot of special effects, and it's all. All 4 films are produced by my husband and I, so there's only really 2 of us kind of making these films and putting them together, and that's wwhy sometimes it takes so long to do them. And they're kind of when you watch it, you'll see it's a pretty big achievement. It's all done. It's like watching 90 minutes special effects shot. You know, there's a lot of special effects in it. There's a lot of people involved. There's over 100 people in the cast, and it's a big undertaking. So, sometimes it takes a while to make a film. You know.
Now, do you plan on making another one?
That's a good question.
Or this is it?
It almost seems inevitable at this point. We didn't realize that part 4 was going to be so successful. We decided we shot part 3, 4, and 5 all back to back, and we started filming it in 2007. We started filming part 3 in 2007 or 2009. I'm not sure. Well, I think it was like 2007. Anyways, so we decided to shoot part 3, 4, and 5 back to back. And because it took us so long to shoot part 3, we decided that we would only do one more, part 4, and we just took all the material we had and condensed it to release part 3 and 4.
Right.
But once we released part 4, because it was so successful and we had such a positive reaction from the fan base, there's more than likely going to be a part 5. Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna have to come back and promote it when you when you do that.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Now, have you found when you do the special effects and all that, have you ever found that there were ghosts watching you, or kind of giving you hints or encouragement? Or
that's a good question. I was thinking about this question from the last time we spoke. Couple of things. One, I don't like to use real animal bones or animal parts or anything from an actual animal on camera in front of I don't like to use it in the movie. Like even bugs, I will make. I feel like if you, especially when people back in like the 70s and 80s, they used to like use real like intestines, and they would kill bugs on camera and stuff like this, and it brought really bad juju to the movie distribution.
Right.
And so I don't do that. I won't even use like a cow skull. I won't even use like a real animal bone.
Right.
I will I'll make it out of rubber because I believe that whenever we use like the death of another creature for entertainment, it brings bad juju to the project.
Like a Cannibal Holocaust where they did the turtle.
Yeah,
I cried. No. I mean, I was okay with the people dying, but the turtle, if you remember that part, I was heartbroken. I was like, oh, no,
I won't watch that movie. Yeah. And some of my favorite movies from the 80s or 70s and 80s have this kind of behavior in it, but I can't watch them anymore. I just cringe when I see this stuff. We love animals here. Yeah. I mean, it's one thing about eating it for nutrition.
Right.
It's another thing about like watching it die for entertainment. No,
purposes. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't watch that.
It's a whole different other
ball game.
Ball game account.
And as far as like having spirits and stuff guide me and watch it, I still believe like my father and my friends that supported me that have passed on. I lost my good friend Gilbert Rosas during the pandemic. He was a good friend of mine from Helotes, Texas, where I grew up. I believe they're there with me, trying to help me as much as I can move forward, because they were always a positive influence in my career and my mission. My purpose. Yeah, I was just listening to a meditation this morning, and it was talking about how people will point out your what they think is your flaw or your flaws, or you like recognize your own flaws, and the meditation suggested that
what flaws
the flaws were actually part of our purpose. Like without them we wouldn't be able to be perfect moving forward doing what we're doing. We need to have them in order to continue doing and moving in the direction we were meant to move into. That's why we have them. So it's not really a flaw. It's like it's part of the purpose, and
Very true. Very true. You need that to be able to learn your lesson and get your opportunity to evolve.
Yeah.
Which we call a flaw, but some people may call not a flaw or whatever.
The purpose to learn a lesson. Yeah.
There you go. So
go ahead, Glenda.
Immediate plans to do anything else in the future besides movie number 5?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I'm just, I'm just enjoying the moment, enjoying the, I kind of feel like I've finally hit my stride, with working in the business and doing what I love, and being able to work around people that care about what I do and I care about what they do, and work as a team, and developing relationships that have become like family here in LA. I don't really talk to anybody from my family back in Texas. There's a couple of people that I do, but I have developed a family out here that is cares about me, and I care about them, and that's all that's what I do as I move forward. I try to develop these healthy relationships with people
Yeah.
that I mean, in the end, our parents aren't going to be there for us at the end. We have to learn how to to develop new relationships with people, and some people have children to have family next to them when they die and this kind of thing, but nothing's for certain,
Yeah.
and you have to develop family wherever you go and whatever you do.
And
So
it's
as
chosen
far
family. That's the beauty of it. You get to
yeah,
choose your friend. I love you so much. I consider you family, because sometimes the
yeah,
family you're born in isn't the greatest. So you get to make your own family. And I always think that's really beautiful.
yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yeah, yesterday we went to see Wonka, the movie Wonka,
Mhm.
Oh,
the new Willy Wonka movie at the
haven't seen it yet.
well, Steve is part of the Editors Guild, and he
Oh,
and so the all the guilds, like the
uh-huh.
producer guild, the directing guild, the editors guild, have screenings on Christmas Day, and so we got to go to the Directors Guild of America and watch Wonka with all these people, and I went to take a pic. It's if you've never been, it's just a beautiful theater, and so I went to walk up to the front. I told my friend who's out. We took a friend of ours, Brink Stevens, who's a famous film actress. I said, walk up with me to the front, up in front of the screen, because they had they don't show previews. The movie just starts, because it's not a movie theater like where they're trying to advertise and sell you
Right.
stuff. There's no popcorn. It's not like that at all. It's just like we come and you sit down, and all the seats are like in my imagination they're like all like velvet, like red velvet, and it's just beautiful. Anyways, I said, walk with me to the front, and she's like, no, I'm too embarrassed. And I went, what do you mean you're too embarrassed? You're like famous film actress, and so I said, you know what, I don't, these people don't know me, whatever. I got to walk up to the front of the movie screen and take a picture because they had the word Wonka really big
Right.
in the background, and I held my camera to take a selfie, and I hear someone say, "Hey, Joe," and they're in the front. They're there like in the front row. It's two
Get
of my other
down,
good
Joe.
friends. Two of my other good friends. That I've known for about 8 years now. That I saw last year for Christmas at the same place. And we
Oh,
saw I saw
full
Avatar.
circle.
Yeah. And I said, yeah, I went over and I hugged them and said Merry Christmas. And I said, aren't we so grateful to be here today? And to be here at the Directors Guild and see this movie and blah blah blah. And the woman behind her heard me say this, and she was nodding her head. Yes, everybody was so happy to be there. But it's just that's it. That's what I do. My plans are to continue to develop relationships like that, and to be of maximum service to my fellow men and women here. And yeah,
Very good.
make the world a better place, one movie at a time.
There you go. There
Yeah.
you go.
One slaughter at a time.
That's right.
That's what. I always tell people, if I never pour any more blood, I'll be just happy. Once you start pouring blood on a movie set, it becomes a mess. It's always messy. It's a lot of mess, and but it's all fun and games till someone has to clean it up,
Yeah.
or you ruin someone's grout. The grout in like a kitchen or sink, or the red stain gets in there, and I can't tell you how many times that something like that's happened. But,
Now you've had some kind of paranormal happenings with your pets. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
sure, yeah. This is like one of my. In fact, Jimmy's sitting right here. He's listening now. His ears just went back. That's his name.
You know
So,
you're talking about him. No.
Yeah, he does. He's sitting right here. So I have two dogs right now. Jimmy and Daisy, and both of them have the exact same markings as a brother and sister kitties that I had growing up in South Texas. At one point, our family had 32 cats on our front porch.
Woo.
And I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but we live near a country highway, like about 50 yards from a country highway, and most of the cats died on that country highway, walking back and forth. There was a field across the street that my uncle's house sat on, a big, huge acre of property. There was a giant field, and there's just tons of rats in the field. So the cats would literally run over there into the field and chase the rats and eat the rats, and that's why we had so many cats. Because there were rats all over the countryside, and my two kitties died on that country highway, and I buried them. I buried them up on the hill in a shallow grave. If you're familiar with Texas, Texas doesn't have a lot of dirt. It's a very shallow limestone rock piece of land.
Like
it's not really
caliche kind of,
yeah, caliche. Yeah, we had caliche on the. So if you dug a grave in Texas, it's always a very shallow grave because it's rock. You need like a tractor or something to go further. Yeah, so I buried them in a shallow grave. They're kind of like the pet cemetery up on.
I was going to say pet cemetery.
Yeah, and we had a dump in the back of our property. I lived on 55 acres of property. We had a slaughterhouse with the goats and whatnot. So we take all the animal carcasses and stuff after they've been slaughtered and butchered and put them back there. And we had like wild packs of dogs that would come on the property and go into the dump. But I've dug a shallow grave and buried both of the kitties back there in the backyard. Backyard. When I say backyard, it's like like a city block away from our house because we had a big piece of property. And I truly believe that the two dogs I have right now are literally reincarnated versions of those two kitties that I personally buried in the backyard. And this is why I don't want to be cremated, because I believe that when you cremate a human being, the energy that's there in the body is changed. And I believe that if you're not cremated and you're preserved or you're buried into the earth, that you have the capability to come back again. And I believe that the two dogs I have right now are literally reincarnated versions of those animals, and they kind of like waited, like literally in time and space, to pick a moment when they could jump back into the bodies of two other animals that we adopted to come back and spend out their life with me, because they were like 8 months old or like 10 months old when they died. They weren't even a year old as kittens when they died. Yeah. So
now you feel that their personalities are basically the same.
The markings are the same, and also when I speak to them, I'll ask the dog Jimmy. I'll say, "Did you come back through time and space to be with me?" And he'll turn and look right into my eyes and blink. So I mean, how much more of a sign do you want than that? I mean,
exactly.
So,
and when they blink, that's when they say they love you. So it's like, yeah, I came back for you. That's sweet.
Yeah. So all he wants to do is spend time with me, on me, around me. He's like a 70-pound dog, but he likes to sit in my lap, and yeah.
Oh my! I can imagine that. That must be interesting.
Yeah.
A lap dog. They forget they're not lap dogs anymore.
Yeah.
So the special effects that you do now, you said you didn't like to include any real animal stuff, and you make it out of latex. So all your movies, it's your own special effects.
Absolutely, yeah. Unless I hire someone to help me.
Right. Are those in back of you there? Some of them?
Yes, some of these are. There's a pig. There's a pig head here, and let me see if I move the mic. You might be able to see.
Oh, that is.
There's another one right there.
Yeah,
it's scary. That's Dr. Carnage, actually, from TOONS 4. Yeah, and he's got his little doctor thing up there, and then there's a decapitated head here.
Okay.
Every house needs one.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Keep everybody away.
Yeah, I
Like,
have all kinds of stuff.
what inspires you to make these? Like, do you just think of something in your head? You draw it? Does it come to you in a
Oh,
dream? Or
no. The stuff comes from the script. When a script is written, and then I break down the script, or the director will send me the script, and I'll read it, and it'll say, the evil scientist looks like this, and blah blah blah, so that I will design the character on paper or in Photoshop or something like this, and then we will both agree about what it should look like, and then I build it, So, but most of the creatures and stuff come from the description of what it says it needs to be in the script when the person is telling the story. I back in the day, I used to have time to just be like, okay, I want to make this now and this now, but that's not really how. I don't make anything for fun anymore. There's always
you don't
some
have
sort
time.
of yeah, no, I don't. It's not a hobby. People still think it's a hobby, and they think give Joe a nickel and he'll be able to do it. I'm like, no, it's not. That's not how it works. It takes discipline. Like someone today just asked me they wanted to rent something that I had made for another film that I own, and I said, if you want to rent it, you can rent it, but I need to be there on set with it because of what it's worth and whatnot.
Right.
And I said, but if you want me to operate it on set, it's one fee. It normally takes like 2 people to operate it. You'll have to provide the people, because sometimes it's like work to like take these things on and off people and operate them in front of the camera. 1 take, 2 takes, 3 takes, 4 takes, 5 takes. You're like, I'll stand over there in the sun, do it. Okay, now come over here. Now put it in front of the camera. Hurry, quick. You know what I mean? That's work. That's not. It's hard work. And it may sound like fun, but then when you get down to it, you're like, what? You want me to do it again? And it takes work to do this stuff. It's not. I don't do it for funsies.
You do have a passion for it. That much I could tell, because I'm seeing those things and they're very detailed. And I could tell that it takes a lot of work, for sure.
And patience.
Patience, work. It takes, takes a little piece of me every time I do something. A little piece of me. Yeah, put a little piece of my soul into each piece.
Well, that's why they come out so good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
go ahead, Glenda.
That decapitated head hanging from in front of my house. Ooh, that would be a plus. Anyway.
Where can people catch your work, or if they want to hire you for a job? Because you are also acting and directing as well. So let us know.
Okay, yes. The best way to reach me is through either Instagram or Facebook. My Instagram is Joe_Castro_director, or my Facebook. I'm on Facebook every day. Send me a direct message, facebook.com/Joe.Castro. I'm an easy find. And if you want to look at all my work, you can go to my website at joecastrofx.com. That's Joe Castro, the letter F and X.com. And if you want to check out all my movies, and you want to own some of the stuff that my husband and I have directed and produced, and you want to see the TOONS quadrilogy, you can go to terrortoons.tv. And we're having a sale right now, Christmas sale. But you can see all of our crazy antics and all of our wild, scary movies over the past 25 years we've been together. There's something for everybody there. Yeah, terrortoons.tv.
Sounds good. It sounds good. I think I'm going to go there after this and look at those movies.
Yeah.
So, do these characters live on forever in you?
That's a good question. I don't. Well, yet to be determined, I guess. I'm always trying to, like I said, make something new. reinvent something or change it up. I think the original characters of Dr. Carnage and Max Assassin, those are the names of the two evil villains from the TOONS franchise. They were originally based on me and my husband. The look of them, I actually had another special effects artist working with me on the first film, and he sculpted the faces, and he incorporated my characteristics and my husband's characteristics into the two characters. So I assume that they will probably live on forever, online, and hopefully the fans will share the films and talk about them long after we're gone. I think that every filmmaker, that's the hope for every filmmaker. They want their movies and their artwork to live on forever.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think they will.
You do a lot. So out of everything, what's your favorite thing that you're doing? Is it still doing the special effects, or is it the acting now, or the directing?
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I just started acting about 4 years ago, and pursuing a career. I had sometimes when I'm working on a film, the director will say, "Hey, Joe, will you step in and do this little thing over here, or can you put can you show your hands here, or whatever, blah blah blah." But about 4 years ago, I started acting, and I really like it a lot. And it's not as difficult as doing special effects, as far as I'm concerned, because special effects, you invest a lot of pre-production building time, and it can be very challenging. But the acting is a little easier on someone of my age, and I think special effects are kind of more of a young man's career, because there's a lot of heavy lifting, and it's just a physically demanding job. And even though acting, I'm sure, can be very physically demanding as well at times, but I'm looking forward to pursuing a further career in acting. I knock on wood, the things are looking up for 2024 as far as getting a big acting role. And I want to also, I'm Latino. Most people don't realize that. People think I'm Jewish or Armenian or even Caucasian, but my name is Jose Manuel Castro, and I want to totally break that barrier of being typecast as a Hispanic male. I don't, and I think I have the opportunity to do that. That people don't really consider me as being Latino. So the larger roles I can get as a lead actor, I think I can break down those barriers, and hopefully I can find a role that will be fitting for someone that's trying to bring the Latino name further into the limelight, and be someone that's going to be a positive influence and as a role model to young Hispanic artisans and actors and actresses that want to pursue a career. Yeah.
Well, I'm with you on that one too, because I'm Garcia, and I'm like from the Valley too, and very little of us get out and pursue this stuff, the acting and the filmmaking, and it is hard to get your name out there, especially being Latino, Hispanic, whatever. So I totally get it, and I'm on the ball with you on that one. That's like my thing too. I'm like, I'm gonna get myself out there with the Garcia name,
Right.
So it's a big deal for me too.
And also being able to, I always say, being Latino, and I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but this is my truth. Sometimes you have to be amazing just to be noticed.
Yes.
It's not good enough to be, like one of everybody else.
Yeah.
You have to be even above amazing just to be noticed, because I'm Latino. And I think that's why it's taking me 40 years to get to where I am today. I think I've always been a really good special effects artist, but I've been beaten down. I've been prejudiced against. I've been, I've literally
overlooked.
Overlooked time and time again, simply because of my nationality and being gay as well. But my nationality, I'm actually, I'm 5'8", which is literally considered a short man here in Hollywood, and I'm a short Latino, gay, Hispanic male. I have everything going against me, and to take it one step further.
You're here.
Yeah. but take it one step further and not be typecast in a role that's normally cast as a Hispanic male. That would be even better, to take it
Yes,
a step
because
further.
they really do typecast. They want you to play
Yeah.
the cholo, or they want you to play the criminal. They want you
Or
to play,
the bad cop or whatever.
Yeah.
There's only so many, the Frito maker or whatever, Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The restaurant owner, exactly.
Well,
We call the mariachi, whatever.
Yeah. But I think another thing is like you and I, we don't look like the typical Hollywood like Latinos. You know what I mean? I'm pale as shit, and and you get confused too when you're saying that people think you're Jew, whatever. So I think that's also kind of hard sometimes because they are looking for like the typecasting, typical Latino, Latina, and I don't think you and I kind of fit in that.
Do you get that a lot? Do you get that a lot from your fair skin?
I do, because they're like, are you Mexican or are you, what are you? I'm like, yeah, dude. Ochoa Garcia, native. Yeah, pretty, I'm at the border, South Texas, the tip of Texas. Yeah, can't get any more like Latino here, but yeah, I get that a lot.
All right. Yeah.
I get it.
You just
But we're gonna break those barriers, Joe.
You're gonna break those
like
barriers.
The Kool-Aid Man.
The Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah. And there's a lot of upcoming Latino directors and female and male that are are cheering for us to and casting us and being our spokesperson and helping us move up in the world. So yeah.
Looking forward to those opportunities, Joe.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us one more time where people can find you and your work before we let you go?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, please come and find me on facebook.com/Joe.Castro, Instagram Joe_Castro_director, and of course you can see all my work at JoeCastroFX.com, and then watch my movies and buy my Blu-rays and DVDs and t-shirts and all the merchandise at TerrorToons.tv.
Buy all his stuff.
Yeah, and that's TerrorToons spelled TOONS. Sometimes people when you Siri it, because Apple owns Siri, it comes up as TUNES. And it's not. It's TOONS. It's just like it's I have to say Terror Toons whenever I want to Siri it. I have to say it like that. And my Siri, if you use Siri enough, it recognizes your voice and it remembers things. So when I say it, I have to say it like that. I have to say Terror Toons, and then it.
Joe, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for being here with us, the first show of the year. And
the very special guest, the very first one. Yes.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on the show. I appreciate you both. I appreciate what you do for all the unique, amazing, beautiful, independent artists all over the world, and for bringing to light all the magic that's the unexplained magic in the world as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here with us.
And we gotta say bye to the audience. Stay with us, Joe. We love you. Thank you for being with us week after week.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy 2024, everybody.